We spend so much of our lives connected. Endless calls, emails, texts, and notifications. The digital world demands a lot of our emotions and mental health. To be honest, it can be addictive. Always needing to be in the loop, or fear of missing out on social media events, or being late to respond to that work email gives us a feeling of importance and belonging. But it can be overwhelming at times, and I'm a strong believer in balance. When I need that balance, when I need to unplug, Arkansas is where I go. My usual escape is wandering the hardwood forests and towering bluffs of the Buffalo River area. Good morning. I was up at 4 a.m. today to make the drive over to the Buffalo River area in Arkansas. Planning on doing a few hikes today. The Centerpoint Trail to Big Bluff and down to the river. And then I'm going to check out Glory Hole Falls, hoping that there's still some raw water running from the rain a few days ago. This time of year it's hit and miss. Being early September, summer's been dry, but we got some rain a few days ago, so hoping that the water is still running somewhat at least. Drive down Highway 43 between Boxley and Ponca in the early morning or evening, and many times you can spot the local elk in the fields along the Buffalo River. I was lucky enough to spend some time with this big bull as the fog lingered in the valley. This guy didn't do it, but I've heard them bugling on previous hikes, and it's startling but not scary. One of the beautiful sounds of wilderness. Right at the intersection of Highway 74 is one of my favorite places, the Ponca Low Water Bridge, which has been a popular swimming hole and floating put in for decades. The Centerpoint Trail is about 3 miles to Big Bluff and about 3.3 miles to the river, the Buffalo River, and descends about 1,200 feet. So here we go. So I've been on the Centerpoint Trail many times, but I keep coming back because it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite, hiking trail in Arkansas. 6 miles out and back, and on the way in, it's all downhill, which is nice, but that means on the way out, it's all uphill, which is not so nice, but it's worth it. I could sit on that bluff, Big Bluff. I could sit on Big Bluff for hours. The views are just breathtaking. I'm going to show you. I don't know how well you can see it, through the trees and on camera, but that is still fog in the valley along the Buffalo River. Sun shining and already a little warm up here, but foggy in the valley. Get the little tight narrow through here. Might be hard to tell, but this is what I consider to be the steepest part of the trail. It always kicks my butt on the way out. You can't see the end of the steep part because it keeps going past all the trees and bushes. But yeah, it's toward the end of the hike coming out. And so you've already got 5.5 miles under your belt, 2.5 which are uphill. And then you have the steep part, which is always a slog. So definitely not looking forward to this coming out. Well, this didn't used to be here. Let's see if we can climb through it. That's not too bad. Go that way to get down to Granny Henderson's cabin and on over to Hemden Hollow. But we're not doing that today. We are going right down to Big Bluff on the goat trail. Being out here is therapeutic. There's something about the filtered sun on my skin as it finds its way through the tree canopy. The aromatic scent of these juniper trees clinging to the rock, some of which are 800 years old. Even the burn in my muscles on an uphill, or the salty sweat staining my hat and shirt, it's all good for my soul, and that's why I enjoy it so much. Some people crawl through there to keep going on the goat trail, either because they want to or because they miss and don't know about this little detour just down below the bluff here. Now, I'm too mature to be crawling through there, so we're going to take the detour. This is the views I was telling you about from the goat trail on Big Bluff. I find it quite amazing. At 550 feet tall, Big Bluff has the distinction of being the tallest sheer bluff face between the Rockies and Appalachians. On the goat trail, appropriately named by the way, we're only about 2/3 of the way up on the bluff. This bend in the river is a popular stopping point for floaters, and you can see why. Right up there is where we came from. So we took the Centerpoint Trail and then turned off at the Goat Trail to get here. The Buffalo River Trail, it comes out of Steel Creek. Where's my finger? There it is. Steel Creek upstream. Comes up over the top of this mountain and comes out over on top of that bluff, and you get really good views of where we're standing now. And then the Buffalo River Trail continues along that ridge on down to Kyle's Landing and beyond. Down below, the old river trail, which we will end up on as we follow the bluff down to the river. But the old river trail is basically a horse trail that crosses the river multiple times, once right through there, and then comes across this piece of land and then crosses the river again down here before leading back up to Still Creek. Most people stop at Big Bluff, but we're going to follow it along to where it looks like the trail ends, but it doesn't. All the way down the bluff to the river, just on the other side of that bend right there. The mighty Buffalo River. Not so mighty right now. In late summer, there's usually not a whole lot of water. Pretty sure this is more than a lot of years. But in the spring, thousands of floaters flock to this area to paddle one of the most beautiful rivers, most beautiful floats in the country. So from here, a person could follow the old river trail down to Jim Bluff, which is spectacular. One of the best swimming holes on the river. And then on down further to Hemden Hollow, or they could loop around on the old river trail to Granny Henderson's cabin that I mentioned before, and then up the hill back to the intersection with the goat trail, but continuing on up back to the Centerpoint Trailhead. We're not doing any of that today. This is as far as we're going. We made it to the river. Now begins the climb back out up the goat trail, the Big Bluff, and the Centerpoint Trail. So, gonna get started. It's not lost on me that I talk about unplugging and the demands of the digital world, yet I'm out here making videos for YouTube. Here's the thing. This is how I merge two things that I place a high value on. That is, being creative and experiencing the natural world. If this channel never takes off and reaches the heights I would like, you know what? That's okay. I have fun doing it, and just maybe, one day, my boys and or grandchildren will watch these videos and see me enjoying life. Maybe they'll laugh, maybe they'll roll their eyes, or maybe they'll be inspired to enjoy life themselves. Remember that steep part I told you about earlier? I'm there. And it's kicking my butt. But I can see the top, almost there. Keep going. So back at the truck. Sorry if there's some background noise. They're doing some road construction or something up here on the highway. Good hike. Yeah, all trails said 8.1 miles and 1,302 feet of elevation gain. So yeah, it was a little tough coming out, but I feel good. I feel really good. 3 months ago, I kind of wrecked my knees on the Manitou Incline in Colorado. I haven't really done a big hike since then, just walking around my neighborhood, but nothing really with a whole lot of distance or elevation gain. And so was kind of seeing how my knees felt today, and glad to report that they felt pretty good. Yeah, I feel like I'm fully recovered from the Manitou Incline. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to wrap up here and on to the next. So I decided to call it a day. Going to skip Glory Hole, wait until there's more water running at the falls. It's much better to see when that's happening. But yeah, if you've made it this far, I hope you liked the video. Click that like button. Also, any comments, shares, subscribe would be much appreciated. It helps me out a lot. Helps me get this channel out and this content to more people. So I would much appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.